Welcome. This is BT Raw, a contribution of the Late Late Show with BT. And this is our last, kind of sort of, because we're dragging it out with the L word. This is our last collab with Drake. So the next BT Raw is when I'm just going to go through all of them, like myself, just for the community that the Late Late Show with BT has with this particular character, even though Catherine and I are in middle school. But like we're sharing Bob in the middle, there's still Bob in the middle. So because of that, I'm gonna address it and I guess do my version, for our community because these collabs have, how could it not be focused on their community and who they are in their role with regards to Drake in the scene. Um, so they mentioned just kind of wanted to be clear about the scene and that, of course, it's middle school, so that would mean that Catherine and I did not have a driver's license. So we're not driving. So that would mean that the location, the setting where this was handled or the attempt to handle, wasn't, uh, specifically ours, you know, um, or in other words, it was there in the setting, prior to the handling. In other words, it was not placed there by neither this Shane McCutcheon in the scene, which relates to, um, the reality with regards to its reenactments and its connection to the L word. So that Shane McCutcheon, which of course will be a student, and this other guy, with this unnamed cast member, Drake. So that's so you're clear about that situation. As again, it's BT Ron. We're not in a Late Late Show BT, and we're not into more of making you aware. Not trying to have you sleep and take advantage of that situation. But even when you are asleep, you have that defense there during that time, which is another point of this, because it's fast forward to now, and I had no idea at that time, like what a Drake was, or what this was that I called myself. I believed that I picked it up, and that it was an illegal substance, either cocaine at the time, because I had no idea, heroin was just cocaine, and a vial of cocaine. Yeah, so that's what it was this time. I picked up a bottle of cocaine and I gave it to a paycheck. Uh, um, but again, just having a defense for situations like that, because decades later, what if I wasn't here? What if I wasn't aware right now, and able to make these connections? What if? But fast forward to now, we have Drake, and as a situation is out there in the public and you have these responsibilities, it is your responsibility to get how the situation is relevant to the public, um, so that you can be effective at what it is that you have. You can be effective, with regards to who you are. Um, Kind of like Dominique. and not just any Dominique, but Dominique West showing up for what we showed with the Late Show of UT and Rory Alexia, showing up with regards to the affair. It's like all of these little things. Like I can't stop being a child of the academy, and it's not to make anything difficult. It's just that, there's a lot of responsibility with who I am and insecurity, and I acknowledge all of that. And I acknowledge you can't throw things under the rug or cover things up, because then you get, like Dominique West showing up, and it's called The Affair. You get Drake being put out there. So it's, you get Orange is the New Black. It's just not possible here. Like I get that, and it's not about cameras being everywhere, and like in Jill Scott's song, cameras watching me, this doing that. It's not even about that. If this is who you are, this is who I am, leave me. That is the reality. That's the truth. It's not about being paranoid or bugging you and watching you and knowing everything that you do. It's just about who you are. This is who I am. This is what I have. And, and I accept that. So we're going to outward. And we're going to drag it out. And this is the last collab. Yeah, I think that's it. So, I mean, just a quick, like, one, I don't think that nothing is intrusive, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's intrusive. Like, I have the discernment to, when it comes to an intruder versus, the availability and presence of security, in the law. I definitely have that discernment. When you're strong in who you are and you're centered within your character, it makes it very easy to discern when there's an intruder. When it comes to your mind, your body, your spirit, it makes it very, very, very easy and simple, and having these responsibilities, it makes it very easy and simple, not only just for myself, but when it comes to all that we have and who we have, as well. Just but like, who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want someone to be able to vouch for your character, and know when you're being offended, and know that when it's, even if something's coming out of your mouth, I think I mentioned this before, even when something's coming out of your mouth, or you're acting this way or showing this way, to know that, whereas the only thing is that when there's resistance, when, to someone being who they are and they're still going through that, disbelief or coming away, or they're still in that offense, just, that's the only thing about it, and just having, me personally, I'd rather be distant from it, just because I feel as though the care and the concern that I put into security and law and truth, that I feel as though I'm worthy of being believed, because I don't take it for granted. I don't take someone's belief or trust for granted. And because that has been given to me as a blessing. So when there's that situation of disbelief and not being aware or still on the fence and fighting and resisting the truth, I just prefer it distant from me. And when it's ready for me, when it's ready for you, when it's ready to be true with truth and accept the truth and acknowledge the truth, then um, that's when I think that and yeah, we want to, knowing that, of course, we want to like have that defense up. And is the word go to bat for you in terms of like your truth and your reality, especially if it's put here in ours, um, you know, and work to have those offenders away from you, uh, of course. But of course, we also ask for you to help make our what we have, easier and not resist. Um, you not resist truth. Um, because like I mentioned lately, show BT, I said people can be mean. Some people can be just very mean. And I was doing a segment of news and topics. It just seemed like it was one of those moments. Like what? We're being really mean right now. And to be able to just stop and just like, that's not where I'm coming from with it. But I know just being with United and, being, having those who know that my character and know that I come off with truth about this. And even if it's difficult for you to accept that you're this type of offender or this is going on or this went on in your life, it's still the truth, and, when it comes to protection and my personal protection and security and, getting ugly, you know, what can I say about that? It's like some feel, like I feel if you're mean, then you should be mean at mean people, you know, the ones who are actually mean, not, ones that's going through something but they're really good. You should, that's how it should be, So sometimes if I get maybe that's what happens sometimes, night it feels like you being ugly or nasty, and I'm not, sometimes it's like it just that's their defense. It's like immediate with ugly and nastiness. But I just stay within who I am and just ask for all that to be distant from me because that's not what I project out. And it's not who I am. And, like it's difficult. How you think it's difficult? Me mentioning like, Dominique West showing up for this, what does that mean? Situations like that, what does that mean if he's showing up for this and there's someone that's linked to him that's supposed to be his wife? But this is showing up, and that would mean that he's a widow. From a security standpoint, that is very serious. Because how do you know just that truth, that reality doesn't put that woman in danger? Because in truth and reality, this person's a widow. So back to the Drake scene. Just having a defense when it's a lot when you don't know. Like, how would he know that? How would he know that? And if something happens, does that mean that it's his fault? That defense when you don't know, when you're sleeping on who you are and other people around you that you supposedly care about is being impacted from it or could potentially be in danger. So this is the Drake scene. and we're keeping it short. But this is our last collab. We're gonna transition over and get right to it. So, I guess I should say this because, back to that truth and back to that reality, and, we mentioned building character with RuPaul's Drag Race Season 4, RuPaul's Drag Race Season 5 with regards to the children and the parents. That also comes when it comes to, it's not just me and my parents, but Catherine's as well. And how can someone who has a free bitch, still be an effective parent without being tempted by jealousy? Still be in the right frame of mind and still not allow that jealousy, whether direct, not allow that jealousy, when it's not direct, to harm your child or who the child that has been, put there for you directly. So this collab is with regards to Catherine's father. So this is a collab that's, relevant to the Drake scene and relevant to, that character, because who is Catherine's father in that situation?
Yeah, made niggas got made niggas women. I ain't even counting money no more. If it ain't right, it ain't right. It don't even matter no more. Come here with them. It's next level shit. Tudo, Gotti, I call it Katy Perry. Wiz Khalifa paper, smoking my favorite berries. At 65, I call it Rihanna. We got a red top, but it's white like
I don't want to say it's Children's Judgment Day, but I could definitely get how it could be perceived that way. But what did he say in one song? A big black nigga? You know, that character, you know, when it comes to that mind and that thinking and, you know, because why was she abused, you know? And I'm never stopping. I raised the bar. I set the standards. My yayo Usher Raymond. That bitch just keep on dancing. Dollar bills on top of dollar bills. That's all I'm throwing. If she want little mama will. Made niggas talking a lot of skrill. 8 digits. A nigga trying to my free bitch. Made man. You hear what I said? I got 100 squares. If you scared, call a fed. Made man. I'm screaming dollar bills. Popping Trump on the Porsche. There they go. Dollar bills. Riding around the city. Plastic cup of Henny. Find a nigga like me. Truth be told, I don't know many. I say shout my driver, Lauren. That's 62 with curtains. Can't see shit. I don't know where the fuck I'm at for certain. When it boils down, I'm just a T.O. nigga. But bitches tell me that I look just like a Creole nigga. New Orleans know it's love. They're supposed to be good to all people, right? Because you never know. Spending tomorrow's money. I call it manana. Off the rack, this ain't my style. I call it designer. One of my baddest women ever. I call her Rihanna. But that's cause her name is Rihanna. I'm in the condo just posted watching Miami kill. I might just walk to the arena and watch it for real. Ashes to ashes, me, Rose, and Cali. Smoking bull rider, shit moving slow as a ballad. Tattoo on your ass, it'd be nice if you show me. I'm buying bitches first, Mike Tyson, Naomi. I got the right to do it, it's only right to do it. Love me some head and I love a woman that likes to do it. Still love my team. Because I guess, what if it's, you know, what if Catherine isn't like William Mornings III to give away? I guess is like the point of this. You know, I definitely respect all people, but when it comes to my free bitch and truth and reality, and that's my free bitch, and I got boundaries. I call it T-Pain. I got my auto-tune. That bitch insane. No, you have to be in the right character. I call it Ving Rhames. You still a baby boy. We doing big things. Street niggas. You hear what I said? I got some bad news. Jabbar back in the feds. You're into character. What can I say? Good character. Look like he's finna ride. Genocide. These people killing time. Throw you in the hole, you must be penalized. Soon as you see success, haters reinvest. Miami guns drive. I can't have anybody believe anything about my free bitch. That is not true. That is not accurate. And that includes Michael Jackson. Let it cool out. Sit it on the napkin. Let it cool out. Dollar bills on top of dollar bills. That's all I'm throwing. If she want little mama will. Made niggas talking a lot of skrill. 8 digits,
A nigga trying to live. Made man. You hear what I said? I got 100 squares. If you're scared, call the feds. Made man. I'm screaming dollar bills. Popping Trump on the porch. There they go. Dollar bills.
You know, I'm thinking that, you know, the guy supposed to always ask for, you know, the hand of the woman of his father, of her father. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's done, right? That's like proper etiquette, proper bridal etiquette. But when there are situations where that person that's supposed to be in that role is abusive, how could you, in reality, in fact, in God, go to that abuser to ask for that person's hand in marriage? How is that possible? So did I mention we're in middle school?
This morning. Don't do it again.
Catherine
Very
and
selfish of
I.
me, sir. Did they give you a cookie? So, Axe, I hear you played football? Yeah. I used to play a little ball myself when I was your age. Those days, they call it foosball. Wrist used to swell up something awful. Seems like yesterday I was right where you are now. I'll tell you though, driver's license changes the whole deal.
So it is not possible to go to someone, an abuser that's supposed to have the role of parent, to ask for your woman of interest hand in marriage. That's not possible. So how to go about that? Character.
I call it Rihanna. He got a red top, but it's white like Madonna. Made man. You hear what I said? Having a slumber party on my bitches down bread. Made man, also known as Papi Chulo.
So I guess the question is, has her relationship with William Mourning III been like this situation right here? Because she's a free bitch. She's my free bitch. That's the question. That's what this is about right now. If we were to put him in a scene, would he be this guy? Would he be that Drake? If I put my free bitch up against her 30 years of experience with William Mourning III, is that him? I take this, what I do with security and law, very seriously. And Catherine.
Find a nigga like me, truth be told, I don't know many. I say, shout my driver, Lauren. That's 62 with curtains. Can't see shit, I don't know where the fuck I'm at for certain.
And in that situation, is he not in middle school? Is he not in this situation that we put up? Is he actually an offender? And her free bitch, is he actually there?
One of my baddest women ever, I call her Rihanna. But That's cause her name is Rihanna. I'm in the condo, just posted watching Miami kill. I might just walk to the arena and watch it for real. Ashes to ashes, me, Rose, and Khaled, smoking bull rider shit.
Because how do I keep him and Mary out? Mary's on out of this one. How is that possible? If they're abusive, how can I do that? I can't.
Ain't no other option, not for made niggas, and I'm never stopping. I'm Damon Wayans, just know that
only if they're in good character is that possible. And what do? When you're a free bitch, you're a woman of interest, your parents have to come to you for who they are. But they still want to put her in a child's place or have you in a child's place. And that's why we're doing this RuPaul's Drag Race, so they understand, parents understand how to be parents when your children have a little bit more. And how do we still have character as children when we have a little bit more than our parents? How is that possible? That's the whole point of our BT views right now. Instilling that type of character in the ones that have a little bit more than their parents. So we don't have situations like this, being Papa, being Daddy. Or Mama, for that instance.
I got 100 squares. If you scared, call the feds. I'm screaming dollar bills. Pop the trunk on the porch. There they go.
Yeah, because I'm not doing it right in front of you, but in like Nicaragua, I am doing it to you. So character. And all I'm saying is it's not possible for me to keep them out of that with my reach, or whatever you want to call it, international reach, global, whatever, if they're abusive. And I guess like in Living Color, I don't play that when it comes to my free bitch. Because what did my free bitch do to you? Nothing. So this has been BT Raw. Bye.